We've got a lot to go over in today's video, including three brand new PlayStation Store sales. One of them is relatively small, it's to celebrate Outbreak Day, but the other two are pretty sizable, so we'll go over them in depth here. We're not going to do a full-on deals video, but I'll give you guys my insight in this video. On top of that, Square Enix talked about the Dragon Quest franchise and more of those games coming over to the West. Of course, we just had the release of Dragon Quest XI, however, there is a caveat for more DQ titles to come over here. Fallout 76 beta details are coming soon according to Pete Hines, and we've got an update on the status of The Walking Dead, the final season after Telltale's closure. It looks like the season could be wrapped up thanks to multiple partners coming on board. Nothing confirmed yet, but I want to take a look at that at the end of this video. First up, let's talk all of the PlayStation Store sales. We've got the Outbreak Day sale, we've got the PlayStation Plus special sales, and we've got the THQ Nordic sale. And the THQ Nordic sale might be the best sale out of all of these three sales, so I definitely want to take a look at that. First, the Outbreak Day sale is to celebrate The Last of Us' Outbreak Day. The Last of Us Remastered is 60% off for PlayStation Plus subscribers. It's down to $7.99. Phenomenal game. I imagine the majority of you guys have already played The Last of Us, and if you haven't, you probably should smack yourself, buy the game, and then play through it. It's an absolutely wonderful experience. In my opinion, it's either Naughty Dog's best game or their second best game. I always seem to go back and forth with The Last of Us and Uncharted 4. Both tremendous games, and now that you can get it for $7.99, that's a bargain. On top of that, they have a bunch of Last of Us content on sale. I wouldn't really recommend checking any of that out, but if you do want to, they've got some weapon kits, in-game items, things like that on sale. They also do have The Last of Us Left Behind standalone for $3.99. Now, I do have to say, The Last of Us Remastered includes Left Behind, so I think you would just be better off getting the game. However, if you already played the game on the PlayStation 3 and you never played Left Behind, then that might be a nice little option as well. Next up, things get a little bit better with the PlayStation Plus special sale. This will be ending on October 2nd, and we got some pretty good deals as a part of this sale. Battlefield 1 Revolution is 80% off, down to $11.99. That includes Battlefield 1 and the extra content. $12 for that is quite good. Very active community on top of that. Far Cry 4 is actually relatively cheap, 70% off for $11.99. This is a game that has held up in value. The Far Cry games usually do, although Far Cry 5 is getting cheap rather quickly. Far Cry 4 for $11.99 would say this is a very good deal. Alternatively, the Far Cry 4 Gold Edition is $17.99. That's 70% off as well. Not a bad deal there. Earth Defense Force 4.1, The Shadow of New Despair is 40% off for $17.99. I love Earth Defense Force. If you want a third-person shooter that doesn't take itself all too seriously, high-octane action, and it's a lot of fun, that's going to be right up your alley. Quite a good game. Want to give a shout to Magicka 2. That's 70% off for $4.49. If you get a couple of friends to pick this game up, it can be an absolute blast. The Magicka 2 Special Edition is actually a bit cheaper. That's 80% off for $3.99, so figure that one out. Metal Slug Anthology is 50% off for $9.99. That's pretty good. Metal Slug XX is 50% off $9.99. Probably the best deal across the board has to be Nier Automata, 50% off for $29.99. Yes, this game is, what, 18, 19 months old at this point? Would have liked it to be a little bit cheaper than $29.99, but then you actually take a look at the quality of Nier Automata, and it is such a tremendous game that $30 for it is an absolute buy. I paid the full $59.99 for Nier Automata, and I absolutely loved my time with it. A game that you really do have to play multiple times to get the entirety of the story. A sizable amount of content if you want to do everything. $30 for this game, absolute win. One of Platinum Games' best titles, in all honesty. The Elder Scrolls Online is discounted to $9.99. You can get the collection for $39.99. Somerset is $23.99. Some good stuff there to check out as well. A couple of other deals as a part of that sale, but I think I covered the best deals of them all. And lastly, the THQ Nordic sale is going to be a sleeper sale. Not a lot of you guys are going to take advantage of this. We got a couple of sleeper deals. Unfortunately, it looks like they jacked up the price of Darksiders. If I recall correctly, Darksiders has never been this expensive during a sale. The War Mastered Edition is $9.99, and then the Definitive Edition of Darksiders 2 is $14.99. I believe they were considerably cheaper, so that's a little odd. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they raised the price because people are starting to get excited for Darksiders 3. Don't know what's up with that, but I would say stay away from that because I do believe those have been considerably cheaper. A sleeper deal here is The Blob, which is 80% off for just $3.99. The Blob's a hell of a game. It was originally released on the Wii, and it was received rather well. Pretty much you're giving color to a lifeless city. It's a pretty quirky game. Another title not to take itself all too seriously at its original, what, $19.99 price point. I could definitely see why people would stay away, but $3.99 for it, definitely a buy. The Blob 2 is also on sale, a little bit more expensive, so I would say stay away from that. Destroy All Humans is 85% off for $2.99. Destroy All Humans 2 is the same at $2.99. One of the most nostalgic franchises that you're gonna come across, so I think that's a buy. Those are PS2 on PS4 games, so they're up-resed a little bit. They've got trophy support, but essentially that PS2 experience that you already knew. Want to give a shout to Elix, which is 70% off for $17.99. This was a game that got absolutely bashed, but honestly, it's not that terrible, and it does have some pretty cool mechanics and a really cool setting. $17.99 still might be a little bit steep, but given the fact that it's a very recent release, I don't think it's all too bad of a price. So if you had some interest in the game, if you want a different kind of RPG, that might not be a bad buy. Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered Edition is 50% off for $14.99. While I absolutely hate the name of Remastered Edition, Red Faction Guerrilla is an absolutely awesome game. This Remastered Edition isn't anything to write home about, but it was a game that didn't get a lot of attention back in 2009 when it was originally released. Now that it's 15 bucks, I would say give that a buy. And lastly, I do want to mention This Is the Police, which is 85% off for $2.99. We are coming up on the release of This Is the Police 2, so if you want to check that out, that's not a bad price either. I thought This Is the Police was a very unique game. It had some issues and it had some flaws, and it looks like This Is the Police 2 didn't really remedy all of those flaws, but it's still a pretty interesting game, and for $2.99, I would give it a recommendation. So those are all of the sales running right now. Again, we're not doing a deals video, so I wanted to give you guys a quick look at all of those sales. Moving on to some other news, Square Enix is saying that future Dragon Quest titles could make their way over stateside. However, Dragon Quest XI needs to sell well. Here's exactly what they said to IGN. Quote, "We need Dragon Quest to sell in the West, even just a certain amount if we want to keep making localized versions." Now, it does seem like Dragon Quest XI is doing pretty well over here in the States. It was received rather well critically, and from what I can tell anecdotally, is it doing as well as a Marvel Spider-Man or a God of War? No, but a JRPG like this really doesn't need to, and it does seem like it has garnered some attention. I'm pretty sure the game sold well enough. It had a PC release. I believe a Nintendo Switch version is coming sometime down the line, so I do foresee future DQ titles making their way over here into the States. Moving on from that, Bethesda has shed a little bit of light on when we can get more Fallout 76 beta details, and that's coming directly from Pete Hines over on Twitter. Someone tweeted at him saying, "What will the Fallout 76 beta length be?" I'm still confused about that. Will we be playing it until the full game comes out? Pete Hines gave a quick response saying, "We'll have more information for you on that soon, hopefully this week." I don't even know if you can classify the Fallout 76 beta as a beta. Back in the day, a beta was considered to be an early version of the game. They could use it to revamp the game, mechanically make changes, but when you're doing a beta a month out from the game's full release, the game is almost done at this point. That a beta has really become more of a marketing tool, and it's just called a beta because beta sounds cool. Oh, you're in the Fallout 76 beta. It's really just to promote the main game release and try to get you to buy that. I'm sure they will tinker some networking issues, some gameplay tweaks, but we should be hearing more about the Fallout 76 beta this week, and I'll keep you guys updated.
Will your bomb land on a rival camp of degenerates? A random stranger? The local wildlife? Whatever your target may be, take advantage of the resulting fallout to gather rare and valuable resources.
And lastly, it seems like every day we're talking about Telltale because the uncertainty of The Walking Dead, the final season, is really a major issue in gaming right now. We know The Wolf Among Us Season 2 probably won't come to fruition unless somebody partners up with them, but it looks like with The Walking Dead, the final season, a lot of potential partners have come forward because Telltale Games tweeted out, "Hi everyone, we have a Walking Dead update for you. Multiple potential partners have stepped forward to express interest in helping to see The Walking Dead, the final season, through to completion. While we can't make any promises today, we are actively working towards a solution that will allow episodes 3 and 4 to be completed and released in some form. In the meantime, episode 2 will release tomorrow across all platforms as planned, and we hope to have answers for your other questions soon." So everybody was memeing that THQ Nordic might be the guys to help them out. THQ Nordic, of course, has been picking up a lot of franchises. If they could acquire some Telltale franchises, wow, then they'd be making some serious moves. At this point, The Walking Dead is coming to a conclusion, so if you acquire The Walking Dead, there's really not much more you can do with it. But let's just hope somebody comes forward and helps The Walking Dead, the final season, to see the end of the tunnel, because this is a franchise we've invested so much time into, and it's a franchise that is strictly story and character driven. We need to see the conclusion of this story, And Telltale closing down and just leaving a franchise like this up in the air, that would be absolutely disappointing. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, we've got 3 PlayStation Store sales running right now. Outbreak Day sale, PlayStation Plus special sale, THQ Nordic sales. Across all 3 of those, definitely some games worth picking up. Future Dragon Quest titles might be coming stateside as long as DQ11 sells well. Fallout 76 beta details will be coming this week, and it looks like The Walking Dead, the final season, will see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.